where you get to understand how you can actually think and open your mindset bigger than how it's being used. So what I want to advise everyone here these days is open your heart, learn very simple, was have master class, thank you, and make sure that at the end of the day, your brain will be better and larger thinking mindset. Because it is somewhere like this that you get to things like that. So once again, I want to say thank you for the 2024, and I'm sure you get the best experience for this event. Thank you for listening.
Alright, thank you, Harold. Please, a round of applause for Mr. Nigeria. I mentioned that you should all open your hearts, be ready to network, and be ready to make use of the opportunity given today. So, don't forget to network, don't forget to have fun. The program has officially been started. We'd also like to let you know that very soon we're calling on the guest speaker for today, the first guest speaker for today, that's person of Mayowa.
I'm so much looking forward to that session for Mayowa. Please can we celebrate Mayowa already? Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me. I'm representing the DG of WISDA, Kashifu Inua, CCI Foundation. We live in a pivotal time in history where our economy and society are undergoing rapid transformation due to global interconnectedness. Unlock Nigeria's full potential in a fast evolving global digital landscape. Today, we are witnessing a new digital frontier where technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain, and Internet of Things are transforming economies. These technologies unlock new growth opportunities across sectors by creating efficiencies, driving productivity, and expanding digital access. For Nigeria, digital innovation is a catalyst that will fuel economic prosperity, address pressing challenges, and redefine our role in the global technology landscape. Nigeria's Digital Economic Policy and Strategy, NEDPS, with NIDA's active role in advancing digital literacy and regulatory framework, is about positioning our youth and entrepreneurs to lead in this era. Digital literacy and innovation form the foundation of the inclusive economy where every Nigerian has a tool and knowledge to contribute meaningfully. At NIDA, we have focused on fostering innovation ecosystems to drive digital transformation. We are not only investing in AI and robotics, but also empowering Nigerians to develop their technical skills through initiatives like the National Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics, NCAR. We are also building a cyber resilience society that manages digital risk, ensuring our technological advancement remains secure through initiatives like Computer Emergency Readiness and Response Team, that's the CERRT. NIDA is proactively addressing cybersecurity threats, conducting risk assessments, and facilitating coordinated responses to cyber incidents. This commitment to robust cybersecurity practice safeguards Nigeria's digital economy, fostering trust and resilience as we advance in our digital transformation efforts. For innovation to thrive, an enabling environment is essential, and at NIDA we play a critical role in providing digital infrastructure, stable regulatory frameworks, and invest incentives that attract tech talent and drive innovation. The Nigeria Startup Act and Innovation Hubs policy are examples of how we are aligning with the tech industries, which needs to build a strong foundation for digital entrepreneurship. I urge every stakeholder, our public sector partners, industry leaders, academia, and young innovators to work with us in advancing a digitally empowered Nigeria. Together, we can build an ecosystem where innovation thrives, opportunities abound, and Nigeria shines as a beacon of technological progress on the African continent and beyond. Technology-driven innovation is indeed a pathway to Nigeria's prosperity. Let us contribute to push the boundaries, inspire our youth, and build a nation where digital technology enables every Nigerian to fulfill their potential. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mark. We sincerely appreciate you. Please, one more time, can we join us together for her? Thank you. Mark, please send our special regards to DG. Tell him we love him and we miss him. Anytime he comes, DG always says boys. I'm sure he knows that I'm angry today. That's why I'm not. I'm sorry. Just please, can you delete that part in the video?
Alright, so moving on, I would like to call on our keynote speaker. But before that, I would like to humbly request that Maya Wakir please stand and I read out the presentation. Thank you. Maya Wakir is a partner at McKinsey, Nigeria, where she began her career as the first business analyst with over 10 years of experience. She leads the firm's fintech initiatives across Africa and oversees the financial service practice in West Africa. Maya collaborates with various institutions of corporate finance, large-scale transformation, and strategies for foreign direct investment, and she focuses on supporting fintech startups. A top leader in innovation within the financial service sector, she is also passionate about gender equality and technology roles in community inclusion, leading McKinsey's initiative to support women in the workplace. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, can you please give a round of applause for Maya Wakio as she comes forward? Thank you.
This comes forward. Thank you so much. Please keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping, keep clapping. Don't worry, all day from our easy. Some of you are waiting for hopeless today.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I will stand on all existing protocols. Let me first of all say a big congratulations to the organizers of the Year of Summit. I think it's an excellent idea. That's why I'm here this afternoon, or this morning. My name, as has been said, is Maya Wapir. I'm not from another planet. It's not all the way from the hills, it's really all the way from Lagos. It's wonderful to be here. Is somebody going to presentation at the back? I just need to see where that person is so that I can signal you when it's time to move. So if you're the one doing my presentation, can you just raise your hand up? I can't see anyone. Okay. Should I wait? Okay, he's giving me his hand. It's really good to see all these faces and to come and talk about innovation, which is a topic that is very dear to my heart. When I saw the title Innovate or Die, I thought that was a bit extreme. So my own presentation is called Innovation is a Necessity. There are 6 parts to my presentation this morning. And sorry, I'm a consultant, so we always talk from PowerPoint slides. I know people can update, but I tend to have PowerPoint slides. The first thing I want to talk about is why innovation is important and why it's the path for survival and growth. The second thing I will say is complacency kills creativity. And eventually it will kill companies, it will kill economies, and it will kill countries. Innovation is not only about survival, but also about redefining what the possibilities are, whether or not in your schools, in your businesses, whatever it's going to be. Okay.
Then I'm going to talk about pathways to innovation. Is everything okay? Okay. I'll talk about pathways to innovation, and then I will talk about here as Nigerians have, and what the key opportunities could be to unlock innovation in our markets, and then finally a call to action for us. Do you need me to do anything? So I'm a bit confused. No? Okay. This is separate from me. Okay, fantastic. Now I really, really do need my slides though. Any possibility to get them up? Okay, maybe I'll do a little bit of an exercise while I'm eating. Can anyone tell me three companies that are big today that were not around, let's say 20 years ago? So three companies that you think are big, whether globally in Nigeria, that were not here 20 years ago. And I know this audience is not shy, so just shout out some names. Which one? Netflix, okay. Uber, yes. Other ones? Flutterwave, yes, yes. Those are companies that have on my presentation. Other ones? OPay, Money Points. We also released about Money Points early this week. Other names? Angela, yes, yes. Pay staff, exactly. And it's, when you look at the fantastic, can you scroll to page 2, please, or page 3? When you look at page 3, please, the next page. When you look at what these have in common, it's incredible to me that companies that are this big, where I don't think is anybody here younger than 20. Everybody here is older than 20. So these companies, all of these companies, oh, there are a few young kids, okay. But most of these companies were built in our lifetime. Let's go to the next page. Has anybody remember Blockbuster? Is anybody here old enough to remember Blockbuster? Yes, okay, a few people. Borders, the bookstore. Anybody heard of it?
Yeah.
What do these companies all have in common?
They're extinct.
They don't exist, right? They don't exist today.
The Nokia kind of
Yes.
does, I think, but not fully.
And I'm going to show you a picture. So go to the next slide, please. Again, this is in our lifetime. A bookstore. This was a picture of a bookstore. I don't know if you guys can see it in the resolution. That was a picture of a bookstore in 1997. A picture of a bookstore in 2003.
Crazy.
And a picture of a bookstore. Can anybody tell me what is the picture of a bookstore in 2007?
Servers.
Servers.
Yeah.
Exactly. They're all servers. Before, when you wanted to buy a book, you would. Who has bought a book physically? Apart from those in school, who's bought a book physically recently? Okay, I see a few hands. Who's bought a book? Who's downloaded on Okada? Those sort of things. I see more hands who are using books electronically, and it's insane to think that just in '97, I think I was in secondary school then, that books were, you go to a physical bookstore to buy books. And what is happening essentially, if you go to the next page, please, I'll explain this colorful chart. Go to the next page. Innovation is happening, and it's happening a lot quicker than it used to happen before. So where's my guy? I can't see you. You're not looking at me. I need to see you. Can you click to the next page, please?
Yes.
So in the 1890s, right at the bottom, see how long it took. Very fast. Very, very fast. And you've seen the changes in your own lifetime. But, as people say, if it's easy, do it. Innovation is not easy. If you click to the next page, please. We did a poll of the most innovative companies, and 84% of people in these companies say that innovation is very important for growth, right? They say that 8% people say that if they don't innovate, their business models are at risk. So everybody agrees that innovation is important. but only 6% are actually happy with the rate of innovation in their companies. Only 6%. So 84% say, this thing is important, so I really need to do this. But 6%, only 6% say that it is that they're happy with what they're doing. Um, if you move to the next slide, a lot of people also, we talked about innovation, we talked about innovation. The question is actually, what is innovation, right? What is innovation? If you move to the next slide, please. I'll read this quote. Innovation is not about creativity. People think that innovation is all about bringing the next, new ideas. But I like this quote, which says, genius is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. Who can just explain to me what that means very quickly? Who wants to explain? You guys are not shy now. Okay, I see a hand. Please, can someone give him a mic?
Okay, that could simply means that the inspiration is just the 1%, but you have to now put in efforts.
Yes.
You need to put in the hard work, which is the larger percentage, the 99%.
Absolutely. Thank you. Let's put a round of applause for him. What's your name? Taiwo. Taiwo. Thank you very much, Taiwo. So you have to put in the work. So when we talk about innovation, I tend to think about 4 or 5 types of innovation. I tend to think about innovation in the product or service. I tend to think about innovation in the process, in the way we're doing things. I think about things in terms of experience, right? So, for example, if anybody has used Amazon now, I remember when I first of all using Amazon, you have to put in your card details, have to do all of that. Now, literally, all you do is one click, and they've made the experience so much better. And then I think about business model innovation. How do you how do you take your things to market? How do you change the value chain? And that's what the money points, the OPs have done with the payments business model in Nigeria. So innovation can be a raft of different things. So how? So we talked about what innovation is. How do we innovate? And we at McKinsey tend to talk about 8 essentials of innovation. So if you please move to the next slide, fantastic. The first step is really around your aspiration. Are you ambitious enough? Do you think to yourself, there's a problem that I want to solve? Do you wake up thinking, someone said to me, what makes you angry? Right? What are the things that makes you angry, that makes you want to change them? And then what do you choose to do with your time? So that's around your strategy and portfolio. The second piece is really then, how are you organizing yourself to discover what the solution is, right? I've talked about the fact that it's 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. How much time and effort are you putting into the discovery process? And then when you discover, how much are you evolving? I don't know who used money points or OPay and can anybody remember when OPay came to Nigeria actually? That's a very good example. What did they come in with? Bags, exactly. What are they doing now? They're doing what? Banking, exactly. So they're evolving. They had a problem and they came in with one thing, they tested it, and then they went into financial services. Then acceleration. Acceleration is very, very, very key. Let's stay on the OPay example and money point example. Can you remember January last year when they demonetized and said they were taking cash away from the economy?
Oh, yeah.
Who was the one that people were using the most?
OPay.
OPay. Why?
It's fast. Absolutely fast. Transaction
Sorry,
was
why?
fast.
It was
Transaction was
fast.
fast, yeah.
It was reliable.
Mm.
So while the rest of the people were still trying to get their heads around what was going on, OPay accelerated and broke away from the pack. So that's one of the things you need to do.
Check.
And then scaling. And now OPay, remember again, OPay used to only be in Lagos, but now they're all over the country. You scale very, very quickly and create network effects for yourself. Then finally, in terms of the organization to support the innovation, and it could be you, I know some of us are only starting out, some of us are students. but how do you extend the learnings that you have from all the other processes, and how do you mobilize around it? So I love the example of using, I would love to use this example, by the way, of this summit, where you are able to get people from near and far. So it shows the power of one. So innovation is not only companies that are doing it, it also can be innovation at the individual scale. So I want to leave you with a few numbers. So can I ask you to click to the next page, please? Then click again. So I'll hold on, please don't click yet. 60, 109, 140. So keep those numbers at the back of your head. Why is Nigeria the best place? And I think Nigeria is really the best place. It's hard though, I would like to be very, very hard. And every day I think to fight for survival. However, I still think that Nigeria is one of the best places on this planet. And I think we have a few, what would I call it, endowments that makes us the absolute best place on this continent and on this earth for innovation. So if you click once, 60% of our population is under 25. Think about the amazing, amazing, amazing brain power that gives us in terms of innovation. Click again, please. We are one of the largest internet markets in Africa. We have 109 million internet users. Imagine if the young people are, let's even assume it's half of that 109. Imagine you have 50 million people who are focused on solving the problems of Abeokuta, solving the problems of Ogun State, solving the problems of Nigeria, because they have access. I think one of the massive advantages of the internet is that it democratizes access to information. Everybody has access to information. And I think, imagine if we have all of our young people focused on using the tool of the internet to do so. So we have 109 million internet users. Click again, please. We have the highest number of tech hubs on the continent. A lot of them are focused in Lagos, which is another reason I think what we're doing here is very, very important, so that we can permeate across and outside of Lagos the wonderful things that are happening in tech. And then finally, 40%. Nigeria has one of the highest degrees of entrepreneurship in the whole entire world. 40% of Nigerians are involved in some sort of entrepreneurial activity, aka everybody has a side hustle. So imagine if we're able to harness the power that all of this creates for us. We have such a huge competitive advantage. So I think we're at a crossroads. I think Ogun State, I think Nigeria is at a crossroads. Either we embrace innovation and lead the country, lead the continent, lead the world, right? Or we risk falling behind in a world that does not wait for anybody. Remember that chart I showed at the very, very beginning? The page agitated when the colonists came into Nigeria and they were bringing in Christianity as a religion, bringing in new ways of doing things. And eventually he could not handle it, so he hung himself, right? And that story stuck with me because all it showed me was that if you're not able to keep pace with innovation, something, and eventually it could even be you, will kill you. So that's the innovation or die part of this day, right? So my final note is, don't be like race innovation. It's not.
All right, thank you very much, Ma. Please, a round of applause for her again. So quickly, I think, please forward. I think she has said a lot, but a couple of us might have questions for her. So we'll just be taking one or two. Okay, beautiful. Osas, please could you help out? Any other person? Any other question? Oh, beautiful. I saw him first.
Alright, please can you move forward?
And yes, both of you please come forward. Thank you.
Please, we appreciate if your questions are short, brief, and precise. Please, at McKinsey, we don't encourage.
What's happening?
While she was talking, there were things that that was noted. Anyways, all right, beautiful. So there are a couple of things that I noted that I think we should just reiterate. First one is the pace of innovation in today's world is very fast. The pace of innovation in today's world is very fast. Also, innovation is not only done by companies but also by individuals. And finally, we need to appreciate and accelerate and we need to move forward. So in the need to move forward, I'd like to give you the chance to ask your question. What's your name and what's your question? All right.
My name is Daniel.
What is happening? Nahara.
My name is Daniel, and I want to say thank you for that amazing session. In your presentation, you talked about innovation and creativity, but I wasn't really clear on the differences between them because I thought about the fact that when you are creative, it means that you also have the ability to be innovative. But what you explained is more like you said innovation is 1% inspiration and 99% perspiration. So I want to ask, how does creativity factor into those two of that dynamic?
Okay.
Inspiration.
Alright.
Inspiration.
Alright. Alright.
Let's the next question, which answers all.
Thank you so much for that amazing presentation. So when you were talking about innovation, I feel most of the people here that are young or are still trying to test the market, they will be thinking they have to go out of the box completely without strategy. There's something called innovation failure when you are trying to innovate without even having a strategy in place. You made examples of OPay. They didn't just come and try innovation without having a strategy in place. So what's your perspective of innovation with strategy? Like how can you balance it? Because you said you can just launch out. I believe that you can't just launch out without doing testing, without being for sure that this idea has got a good strategy that will work for that space that you're going into. So what's your perspective of innovation with strategy? Thank you.
Okay, so
Thank you for that. Those wonderful questions. I'm also going to ask for a lady. I can't only take questions from men, so I need one lady to ask me a question. Very, very quickly on the question of innovation and strategy. Completely agree with that. I don't see you can't go out into the market without a coordinated way of doing anything. Even internally, there must be a destination. So remember the first point I made was what is your aspiration? What are you trying to solve? So you definitely have to have that. And then on the second question, the first question on what does creativity have to do with inspiration? It is a part of the process. It is not the only part of the process, right? Innovation is not only about having good ideas. It's not only about being creative. You have to do the work, right? Whether again for yourself or for your company, you have to do the work. So that's the point about innovation and creativity. It's a part of the process. Okay, I see one hand. Was that a question? Is there a question is there any lady who wants to ask me a question? No? Okay.
Alright,
There's one more. Okay, there's a lady over there. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Please can you come forward?
Let's put our hands together for her.
As gender.
Yes, I'm biased for women.
Please give her a round of applause as she comes forward. Thank you so much.
The question I want to ask is that how can somebody convince one's parents, maybe a mother that has been in the food industry for a long time and there has been no progress, so how can we convince her to be innovative? You understand? So that's my question mark.
Hard question. How do you convince mothers to do anything? So I think actually the answer depends on the particular person. I don't think there is a right or wrong way to do innovation. To convince parents to be innovative. I do believe something that the proof is in the pudding, and it's always better to give facts to back your arguments than to talk about things theoretically. So perhaps there are things or changes you want to make in the business. Maybe take a small part of the business, not the entire thing. Start small. Show what the changes, the result the changes are making, and then hopefully you can convince that way. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Just session with you as we have the CEO himself and the governor come up to take a special picture, and also the chief of staff. Thank you so much. Joking. All right, thank you so very much. Okay, special this year we are snapping with all the speakers. All the way from Mankizi, I'm taking this picture. Thank you so much. So when I want to apply for a job, I'll tell them I've worked with consultants from Mankizi.
Alright, so Maya said something that I would like to test out right now. Osas, I have a business strategy. I came up with an innovation and I would like to test my market. Who wants to see me test my market? You don't want to buy from me. You will buy, or else will not live here. It is by fire, by force. So this is the business strategy. Osas, please, can I have you over here? Thank you. So you know, before you start a business, you have to have a product in mind, right?
Yeah. Check. Kalista, it only happens to you. I think I'm fine for my age.
Anyway, so my product right here is Osas.
I'm not your product.
Hello, wait. So, Osas is my product this time around. And I am...
You say, you take me as an example.
Osas is my product. And I am marketing Osas to you. So this is what we are going to do. We are going to test the market. 500,000 naira or Osas. You have to pick one. So everyone, 500,000 naira or Osas.
What do you mean?
300,000 naira or Osas. 100,000 naira or Osas. 50K or Osas. Gallon of kuli or Osas. Osas, oh bad. Sorry. Bad product, bad market.
So you know, I'm so happy that this event is covered. So for those of you that chose me, a carton of kuli over me, my God will fight my battle. Alright, very quickly, we'll not just allow her go just like that. We have a special award presentation for you all the way from all of us here at Ogun Digital Summit 2024. And to present this award, please get your hands together as I make one of the director of IT with person of Mrs. Adekule. Please let's give a round of applause as she comes forward. Thank you so much.
On behalf of Digital Summit 2024, I'm proudly for your bold vision, and also we appreciate your, especially guiding the innovate that guiding the deputy well, and one sharing that we always allow us to plan well, and also to remember that a day we need to plan, to work towards innovation so that God bless you, God continue to move forward.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We sincerely appreciate you. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for coming. We love that you came around for us. You see that I'm hammering on Marquism. Hammering on Marquism. Yes, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you so much. Ma'am, my name is Godson Osas.
And my name is Kalista Adebayo.
Follow you on Instagram and LinkedIn.
Oh, you're following him?
Yes. Okay.
Alright.
Special baby guy. Thanks. Please let's round of applause as she leaves. She has a flight to catch. She's traveling to Canada.
We told you that if you arrive here, there's just this special power. You just travel. Like now, when you leave here now, they might give you passport and you now to go to UK. So I tell you here.
Let's move on. Before you give them, give me.
Anyway, so moving on, guys. First of all, we want to do a quick assignment. I need those of us that have wonderful phones to bring out our phones and take quick selfies. Those of us that have phones.
No, don't worry. As communicative summits, we do not segregate, okay? Personally, I use Android, and I appreciate when people use Android. I don't believe in iPhone.
Anyways, we need us to bring out our phones, and we're going to take a picture with people who sitting beside us. Can we quickly do that?
Take a selfie.
Take a selfie with those beside us.
Please, there's no segregation right here. We celebrate Android users more.
If you don't have phone, you can WhatsApp with those that have phones beside them. Please allow.
And we want you to tag us.
Hashtag ODS 2024. Hashtag ODS 2024.
Please, can we have the hashtag displayed on the screen very quickly?
So I want you to post on your socials and use the hashtag ODS, capital O, capital D, capital S.
Why are you not snapping?
2024.
Take a picture of the rainbow, please. I'm smiling.
Wait.
Like my neighbor is not smiling now, so I'm going to mommy.
Wait, your neighbor that is not smiling?
My neighbor is not smiling. This is like smiling.
Let's take a picture and upload hashtag ODS 2024.
While we do that, we're going to quickly learn something together. Guys, when we say Ogun Digital Summit 2024, our response is going to be innovation, pathways for our nation's prosperity. Did we get that?
Innovation.
Shall we experiment?
Yes. Hold on, please. Sorry, it's not like you got it from my brain. You can copy it from here. Let's help myself. Let's help myself. Okay? So when we say ODS 2024, we all shout innovation, pathways to our nation's prosperity. Is that right?
Yes.
Alright, thank you so much. For those of us that used to copy the exam hall, yes, thank you for the lights. Are you ready?
Yes.
ODS 2024!
Innovation, pathways to our nation's prosperity.
Thank you so much. Let's give ourselves a round of applause one more time. Alright, so please, I'm not taking our pictures and pictures ourselves. Please, the highest like picture today is going home. Should I tell them the amount?
No, don't tell them. If you tell them now, they will fear, they will run.
I will tell them 100K is small. Should we increase it to 300? Alright, we'll come back to that announcement. Please remind us to tell you the amount. Just in case.
When we agree on the amount, we'll tell you. Anyways, we would like to call on our first panel session for today. But before that, I'd like to introduce our moderator who is present in the house. In person of Tohib Bisiriu. I'd like to ask Mr. Tohib to please stand up as I read his citation. Tohib Bisiriu is a seasoned consulting professional with a wealth of expertise spanning agriculture, startup technology, and human resource industry. He excels in communication, training, development, and project management. With a distinguished reputation as a corporate event conqueror, Tohib possesses both national and international emceeing experience. His natural spontaneity and brilliance infuse vibrancy into every event he hosts. Additionally, Tohib is a devoted career development advocate who heads Mindcrest Consult, an esteemed edu migration and career profiling brand. Here, he assists individuals in preparing for career opportunities, crafting compelling CVs, and other related services. His enduring commitment to sharing opportunities with others underscore his belief in collective growth. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the way
All right, ladies and gentlemen, now Fahim comes up. He's coming to moderate the panel session. And the topic for this panel session is the impact of technology on mental health. You will agree with me that this issue of mental health has been one of the hottest topics so far so good. And he will also be moderating on the effects of social media and digital wellness tools.
Alright, so to join Tohib on stage, I'd like to call on Dr. Bola Abiri, a consultant psychiatrist, managerial psychologist, and CEO of Ready Med Consulting Services, a fellow of the West African College of Physicians, and a member of the American Psychiatric Association. She trained at King's College London, the University of Washington, and Harvard. Passionate about mental health, she advocates for child and adolescent forensics, women mental health, and workplace productivity through employee assistance programs. She consults for Tranquil and Quest Behavioral Health Nigeria and volunteers with the Adorable Foundation and Live Well Initiative. Please a round of applause for Dr. Bola.
You're welcome.
I would also like to humbly request the presence of Dr. Ajidao Olushino, known as the. Please, a round of applause for Dr. Ajidao Olushino as he comes on the stage.
Sure. So, ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, we hand you over to Mr. Toyib as he anchors this great panel session. Please, can we give them all a round of applause? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Osas and Minister. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It's such a delight and honor for me to be here again today, and particularly moderating this session on quite an important topic. You would all agree with me that before now, what used to constitute our lifestyle has been what we consume in terms of food, in terms of the drugs and every other thing. But now there's the other aspect, which is what we consume on the social media using technology and digital tools. And that has also influenced our life greatly, talking about the elements of what happens in the cyberspace. And I'm joined this morning with our specialists who are going to be having beautiful conversations today. I want to say welcome, ma'am. I say welcome, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. So, to start with, we realize, or I feel that the conversation of mental health, or topic mental health, the concept, has been something a number of times, and even in the context that probably people are like. So people use mental health as excuses for bad behavior. So it makes it look like the concept of mental health. So we need to define and try to use it. So to start with, as a layman, I don't know anything about mental health now. So I like to start with you. How would you define mental health?
All right. I'd like to thank you very much for the question and for the opportunity to speak to everyone. There's a social experiment that I'd like to do, and I'll do that experiment right away. You are here and you have mental health. Raise up your hands. How many hands are raised? You are here to define health as not just the absence of disease or infirmity, but the complete state of physical, mental, and social well-being. When we say mental, the interpretation that most people give is corresponding. However, mental refers to the brain. It is the organ that is the brain. It's like when a doctor says cardio refers to the heart. When a doctor says osteo, it refers to the bones. When a doctor says gastro, it refers to the intestine. And so when we say that an individual has mental health, what it just means is that the individual is successfully able to perform the functions of the mind. What are the functions of the mind? To think, to imagine, individual is able to contribute their quota to the environment that they live in. Ladies and gentlemen, let's do that social experiment again. You are here and you have mental health. Please show by raising hands. That is mental health. Thank you.
Please let's put our hands together for
Thank you.
So, what would you also say to what would you define mental health as for a layman?
Alright, good morning, Doctor. Good afternoon. I think the first thing I said everything. What always happens is, I think a lot of people, well, abuse the word mental health. And just like I said, some people occasionally use that word mental health for excuses for bad behaviors. I think it's a big one. I really always say, and I'm very, very happy to having this conversation because from 2020 when we had the pandemic and there was a rise in the use of social media, there's been a lot of awareness around mental health and trade. I'm sure if you open your social media now, you probably will see something about depression, anxiety, eating disorder, I mean, things that people do not know, but mental health. And the thing is that for a country like Nigeria, because we are very, very spiritual, there's tendency for us to confuse mental health issues with spiritual problems. I want to show you for everyone. So that where I think a woman was getting viral video that I went talking about where the woman was just like talking somehow, and people were like take her to the pastor. Pastor, I mean, watching that video, I saw someone that had something like a psychotic problem. But an average person would think that is she's possessed. And I think that has affected one, stigmatization, and people do not want to associate with getting help. Because, for example, someone tells me that I want to see, many of you, tell yourself, I say, see a psychiatrist for something here. Why should I say psychiatrist? Am I mad? But I can even say, as long as you are alive, before you die, you are going to have a mental health challenge. You are not mad, but you are alive. So, you need to know that. And I think maybe we might need to kind of maybe change the name psychiatrist and all that. Because if you say psychiatrist in Nigeria, they will say, hell no. Hell no, nobody wants to say, I'm so psychiatrist. Am I mad? I'm not mad. But life will pose challenges to you now. Another thing is just about this now. There's a word people abuse a lot, and I say a lot, depressed. Someone does not maybe you did not you lost some money or something, so you see the word, I am depressed. There's a big difference between depression and sadness. These are words that they are very different. You cannot label yourself as depressed. Only doctor can tell you depressed. And there's a criteria for this for all of this. So the fact that there's Sapa in Nigeria, you made the wrong financial choice and all of that does not mean that. But I have to make awareness around it, and I'm sure that as we continue today, we are going to share more ideas. So sometimes a lot of parents will just sad.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Let's put our hands together. Sometimes we're not depressed. We're just sad and broke, or you probably made the wrong decision in your relationship. Sorry. You that the case people are talking about. My question at the first research. So how has because now we have to bring that. So how has practices like that, how do you think that helped people to begin to understand the concept of what we call mental health or the understanding mental well? So what would you say is the impact of social issues like depression and the rest of it towards impacting the life of people through their mental health?
Right. You are. Right, so over the years, what we found, like Professor just said it again, They want us to change our names. Sigmund Freud was a proud psychiatrist. I mean, this is decades later, and we're still here. What I have found over the years, and before I started to use digital tools to speak about mental health, it was quite difficult, and I'll tell you why. Mental health is such a sensitive topic. It is sensitive because it affects individuals. It affects, we will see patients, doctors usually see patients. The rest of us see an evil-looking man or woman on the streets, disheveled looking. But the reality is that that person is somebody's father, somebody's mother, brother, sister, wife, child. And so it's such a sensitive issue because it's been shrouded in secrecy over the years. Of course, that's what that secrecy has done, is that it has increased stigma and discrimination and reduced people seeking help, the help that they very much need. Over the years, what we've done is that most of us have been like ostrich with head in sand. It doesn't affect me, it doesn't affect my family. Whoever it affects should go and sort out themselves. And so when that conversation on mental health came, during my residency training program, I thought about it. If I want to talk about mental health, if you make a joke about someone's mental health, I mean, the condition itself is bad. To now make a joke about someone being mentally ill is so sad, and it might be the reason why the individual decides to end their own life. And so the first thing I said to someone when I was thinking was, imagine if we could capture mental health information in 1 minute. Even though I'm old school, my attention span is quite short. And so I said I will call it mental health in 60 seconds. Wait a minute with Dr. G. What did I do? I brought out mental health information in 60 seconds. People listened. The world stopped and started to pay attention. Even though the first person I said it to said, it can't work. You cannot dismiss mental health information to 60 seconds. And then over the years, I innovated, which is where innovation does come in. And what I find is that people want to hear, but people don't have the time. What are you going to give us? Give it to us, sharp, sharp. And so I came up with a character known as Auntie Ramo. Whenever I talk about that character, people laugh. Random, but I happened upon Auntie Ramo. And what I did was I put on, a bonnet, I put on tribal marks, and a costume, and a t-shirt that I wear every time I want to be Auntie Ramo, to give the information to the people who genuinely need it. Apart from Wait a Minute with Dr. G, I have gone ahead to do things like Q&A with Dr. G, Mental Health Mondays with Dr. G, Mental Health for Children with Dr. G. The truth is, everyone needs to hear about mental health. And then I decided that it was time to put it on YouTube. Easy access, of course, very innovative, and where people will find it. And that's where that rich reservoir, where people can go. So I had a YouTube channel called Mental Health TV with Dr. G. I'm on Instagram as myself, Dr. Bonjwa Abiri. And if you see Auntie Ramo, you'll be wondering, nah, this can't be you. But what gladdens my heart is that people write, people send me messages, and they say that we feel seen, we feel heard. These are people that have mental health challenges. We feel like someone is putting what we need others to hear out there in such a way that people can relate with it. And I dare say to you that most of the invitations and collaborations that I have gotten have been because of Auntie Ramo, not because of Dr. G. Interviews on television, News Central, Channels TV, Auntie Ramo. And so that's where that drive came from. And I see that it's continued to grow. Very recently, the WHO FIDES also agreed that I could be part of that platform as well. So for me, it's a lot of work. I'm not the only one. I enjoy what I do. I usually tell people that I am happiest when I want to spend 5 minutes to dress up and be Auntie Ramo, but I know that the people whose lives will be touched, reached, and changed are, of course, waiting on the other side of the screen. Thank you.
I'll come to you after. You're doing something special because I found out that you are vocal about men's sexuality, mental health is men's sexuality now. Though I have conversations to take us there before the end of the session. We have time, but if we don't, that will be some other time. But then the question I would like to ask you is a lot of tech people, creatives are people who enjoy making people happy. Maybe through dancing, comedy sketches, spoken word artistry, content, and the rest of that. But a lot of times they struggle with mental health and stuff. Then tech people also they live tech, they live in quotes tech. When they sleep, when they dream, they're dreaming of having magic. So some of them do not have proper life outside their work life. Now, how should young people with tech and in the creative industry economy begin to take care of their own mental health? And what are the things they need? What are the steps they need to take? Or what do we even need to know first before taking certain steps? Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much for that. All right, thank you very much for that question. I think this is a very big question because an average young person probably spends about maybe 12 to 16 hours a day, which means that an average person is impressionable. We all agree with that. Let me ask one question. When last did any one of us read newspaper? Anyone? When last did you read newspaper? Okay, good. But you know that 2 days ago, a politician slapped an Uber driver. You know that, right? But you did not read that from newspaper. So you agree with me that you spend a lot of time on social media to an extent you consume a lot of what you find. And as young people, they are impressionable. Now, I know tech is like the oil, can I say like the oil and gas, everybody wants to go into tech. But the realities of it is no one tells you their struggle, mental health, and all of that. And it's the same thing with another niche of people like that I find impressionable are celebrities. Celebrities will show you when they're interviewing, they're smoking, whatever, and they don't tell you that they are having a rehab session for some of their substance use. They won't tell you. But we young people who don't know that. For example, if you know me on social media, they always drag me every time. Most of these celebrities, because I call them out, they blocked me. Olamide has blocked me, Burna Boy has blocked me, I think Risky has blocked me. What did I call out? I called them out because you guys are going to do those smoking and all of that, doing cannabis and all of that. And your followers are modeling themselves outside your life. You have money to seek therapy. Your followers are doing Olamide versus Risky, and these are people in the future of tomorrow. You understand? And it's good discussing this now. Let's take from the text, for people in the text space. Because of a work schedule, some of these people have meant to out yesterday. Alright, so many of these people have mental burnout. Okay, now mental burnout is like, Alright, mental burnout is like, everyone to an extent, the mental health, I would like to put it like an elastic band. So there's a limit that's stretches. Now, depending on the sphere of whether it's tech or whatever, many of these people are working and all of that. Some of these people have to cope with. I've had many tech roles messaging that they are sad, they are things and all of that, but they cannot even seek for help because the way their work schedule is, you understand? And because of awareness, many of these people don't even know. For example, someone is sad, is not eating, maybe he used to love watching football, he's not watching football again, he's not sleeping well, and he will say, I'm just sad. that could be depression. And that's why I'm saying, I mean, my first opening statement was like, there's a huge difference between sadness and depression. And a lot of young people, outside tech and all of that, a lot of young people have stuff similar to all of this. And that's why I need more young people to be talking about it. So how do we cope with this? The first thing is understanding that you are a human being, and as long as you're alive, your mental health is as important as your physical health, is as important as your emotional health, is as important as everything health about you. That's the first thing. Now, the second thing I usually would say is invest in your mental health. So, how do you invest in mental health? One is, I would say that be careful of what you consume. Because, like I said earlier, we young people, I'm also you, we are very impressionable.
Sorry,
So the contents you actually consume can shape your mental health. That's what.
can you carry the
Another
bag? Somebody
thing
wants
is
to
that, okay, example is, I don't want to call out names, but example is that imagine you're consuming, okay, for example now, there's this genre of music that I'm not a big fan of, because I notice that a lot of people that listen to that kind of music, it takes them to kind of the dark side and they start to go. So some people just external, whether in form of violence or whatever, anything you put into your mind can affect. Second is like, try to avoid triggers. Now for young people, as a guy, what are some of the things that can impact mental health? Alcohol, drugs. You know, as per we young boys and young girls, doing drugs is like a thing, like a big boy doing drugs. You go to clubs, people are doing shisha. People don't know that shisha, all these things can affect your health. Because everybody says that everyone doing it now. Another thing is, don't be scared to ask for help. There's nothing, if it's only the living person that can seek for help, and there's nothing for you to be shy about. If you are down, you are not you notice a change in your personality, reach out. Because a lot of people have committed suicide not asking for help. So if you, and the thing is that mental health is so very critical that sometimes the person might not even do it. It is people around that will just notice a change, and we only have more awareness about things that you know that this person is giving like this, you're not giving like this before. Let's say for help. And another thing I also say that the onus is on all of us to spread this word. For example, like I said, I'm sure at least 1 out of 3 people here is either on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. The onus is not on the doctor to talk about mental health. You also need to tell people, because we learn something like this, avoiding some of these things, seeking for help. Mental health is very important. There's the thing, I think about if you have money, there's what is something I call mental health rehabilitation. You could pretend to pay for psychotherapy now. With advent of apps, where you can just talk to a professional and have psychotherapy. Because some of you are working, maybe all the months you don't have to just be and men, there's no harm in being vulnerable. Let us stop this toxic masculinity. It has killed a lot of people. Men don't cry. Who says, why do you have a human in your eyes? You don't need to cry. It's okay to cry. It's okay to let down your guard and seek for help. Because some of you have anxiety problems. You don't want to seek for help. Then somebody commits suicide. So men, please, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to seek for help. It's okay to talk about your weaknesses. It's not have to be shy about that. And I do hope that we will spread this word because, like I said, it is not myself and doctors or psychiatrists. It is not about this small like now. When you're doing anti-raffle, she's doing that. You learn something from this. Tell a friend, and before you know it, the atmosphere around seeking for help in mental health and investing in mental health change. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that contribution. So I'll come to you, Doctor. Listening from the question I asked, so I'm leading to there's so much happening in the world of today. There's a bit of it seems evolutionary that the work landscape is changing. So, and you also offer a book that talks about mental health in the workplace. So, what do you think you so much very young, what are the emerging challenges that you face at workplace that has to do with mental health? And how can we address it? Because sometimes it's about knowing that these challenges are existential, then starting how best to address them. So, what are the challenges you have to identify in the workplace, and how?
That I always use. If you went to a workplace, and yeah, a lot of our workplaces now don't have that feedback, but they are toxic to our health and science. They have the culture, yes, they have a toxic culture. And so many quite a lot of us work in toxic workplaces, where there are toxic cultures, where people will tell us, my dear, you're just coming. That's how we've always done it over and over again. We have conversations like, don't mind him, Joe, all these Gen Z people. You offer them 1.5 million, they tell you, so how many days am I coming to work physically and how many days am I working from home? You have conversations such as poor communication in the workplace. People have information, but they're not sharing it to you. There's a lot of unhealthy competition at the workplace. People are trying to be the best, be the ones to be seen. And of course, people are turning to substances of abuse. When he was speaking about some of our very revered celebrities and the challenges they have with drugs, it's true. But even at the workplace, what we're finding is that because of the pressure of work, you know how they say that the pressure is getting worse. People are either looking for substances, including alcohol, including coffee, including carbonated drinks. And when people take drugs, it's for two things. Either to run away from pain or to run towards pleasure. And so in different industries, including in the tech industry, we're having people smoke marijuana. I know a lot of young people, and I'm hopeful that Shima said that you will take something away from here. Speak not for yourself or someone else. This days you're talking to young people and you're saying, so what are you smoking? They say normal weed. I'll say which one is normal weed. I'll say CSK, is it Black Mamba? Is it Kush? Is it Malian Kush? Is it Canadian Loud? Is it Ghana Loud? They say what's up? You know what's up? Of course I know what's up. And so people will turn to different things, and even at the workplace, people are using substances to cope, including alcohol. Of course, the conversation goes on as one can stress people at the workplace. Environmental conditions. Imagine you working in an environment that is extremely dirty, very dingy, and people still expect you to be extremely productive for the work. And then, of course, when you work in a place where you don't feel like you are a part of the workplace, you struggle. You can't bring your best self to work. My conversation to you today is like the words of my anthem. You do the best that you can until you know better. And then when you know better, you do better. Take the information today. It is important that you are informed, that you are aware, that you are educated, and that while you know that these challenges exist, it's said that you do not get ready for war on the day of war. Nobody prays for war. Nobody prays for a mental health challenge. Nobody prays for a toxic boss. But ladies and gentlemen, if you go to a place and a toxic boss is there, I may be able to take a walk. You may not be able to take a walk.
Given your circumstance.
Even exactly your circumstance may not allow you to take a walk. However, one thing I would say to young people is that learn the soft skills, and I call them the skills of care. CARE. Learn the skills of communication. Most times people believe that because they're speaking English, they're communicating. 2 days ago, a young man reached out to me on behalf of his father to get an address for my clinic. He tried calling Monday morning. I didn't pick up the phone. And then the next thing I saw was a text message. We've been calling you, my father and I have been calling you, and for no reason at all, you are not picking up the phone. Oh God. My head expanded. I was angry. How can you call me? You want something from me? I said you need to learn respect. You need to learn how to communicate to get what you want. The second thing, of course, you need to learn the skills of assertiveness. Learn to say no. Stop taking on jobs so that people will think nice of you. And you have to say no. Give it to Shina, you will do it. Give it to Shina, you will do it. Because Shina is burning under the pressure of stress. The R says that you must learn resilience. Resilience has to do with thriving in spite of adversity. Tough times will come. It may not be today, but learn how to cope. Learn to use the gift of people. You see, one thing that I think that young people are losing these days is that young people just want to use people to get somewhere, and they look like if you did not do it, somebody else would have done it, right? Learn to use the gift of people. And the last thing in here is that you must learn emotional intelligence. I remember when I came upon emotional intelligence many years ago, a friend of mine was so excited. He said, "Bonjour, I feel like a god." And you know emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is almost like telling people to go to hell in such a way that they will look forward to the ride. But emotional intelligence is deeper than that. It's about first knowing yourself. Who am I? Why am I here? What are my strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? How can I regulate myself? Socrates says, and that's what I'm saying, that man, woman, know thyself. Because it is in the knowing of yourself that the best will emerge. When you are done knowing yourself, you can now start talking about knowing other people. Thank you.
The K again is one, the C stands for communication, the A stands for assertiveness, the R stands for resilience, and the E stands for emotional intelligence. So let's echo it together so we know something has sunk in our minds today. So the C stands for
communication,
the A,
assertiveness,
the R,
resilience,
and the E.
emotional intelligence.
I want to read it. I'm very rapid. Of course, the channel is an open conversation, but we are blinded by time to just cut short. So, yes. What I've observed is it's not as if a lot of people are not aware of mental health and impact. It's not as if a lot of people are not willing to seek help. For a lot of people, because I run some anonymous sessions and I get to see a lot of stuff. So a lot of people are afraid of stigmatization. And let me break it down what I mean. So if this person walks up to you and say, you know what, I struggle with this, I struggle with that. So this person gets Ade, for instance, and here is Ola. So Ade comes to Ola to say, Ola, I struggle with this. The problem with us as humans with natural errors, or what I call fundamental error, is that when you see Ade next day, you do not see Ade, but you see what they're studying. How so a lot of people are powered back into their shell, they no longer share stuff. And so we tell people speak up, speak up. Even the person struggle to say speak up, but they are not speaking. So how do we do what should we do as young people to address stigmatization? What do we need to help us and what does it need to help us? Thank you.
Thank you very, very much. Sadly, mental health is still heavily stigmatized, and I don't think that is changing anytime soon. Mental health is in a category of condition that is stigmatized, just like the word is. For example, many of you think if someone has epilepsy, that thing called warapa, you believe if you share a cup or spoon with the person, you may have epilepsy. Some people here still believe that. Many of you still believe that if someone has HIV and is on medication, if I shake the person, I will have HIV. But these are things that we don't know. It's not true. If you sleep on the same bed with someone with epilepsy, you cannot have warapa. It is not possible. If you share cup with someone that has HIV, you cannot have HIV. It's the same thing with mental health. So the first thing you are going to address is awareness. Awareness that that's why we have a conversation like this. I'm sure from what we've said today, you should understand that someone opened up to you does not mean you will have mental health problem. Because if people understand awareness, I believe that pretty soon will have mental health change. Secondly, like I said, stigmatization is not changing soon. But depending on how people are awareness as behavioral change, they can change. Now, the second thing I would say is that I would advise that in this climate, in something like Nigeria, if you truly have mental health issues, reach out to professionals. For example, now, how many of you know that there's something called eating disorder or something like that? How many of you know that there are some people that they want to lose weight and they can go so much and it becomes a mental. I don't expect you to do the nitty-gritty of mental health problems like depression. Put hot oil. I'm sure we all know what you're trying to do. You don't want the person to have pressures. I went commented that this practice is dangerous. Putting hot oil on your feet is not going to prevent you from having pressures. I think people that have died from that, they are not aware. And many of them they are using ibuprofen for I1. So they are, and the thing is, I'm sure some of you will that we're not going to every day. So we need to be aware. We need to check our mentality, check our disposition. Know that there's a difference between spirituality and mental health. How many have mental health problems? Spiritual, I need to be Christian, Muslim, traditional practice, whatever God is saying. You cannot solve mental health problems by seeking for spiritual help. If it's a spiritual problem, like an exorcism, this kind of love today, I like to call out all these people, but I'm not going to say no celebrity. You understand? What happened? Last year, Olamide was going to release, I think, his album. The title of the album was Unruly. So, for the album picture of that Unruly, Olamide's Unruly album, what Olamide did was, he posted himself in a room, he posted himself with balloons. How many of you have balloons? Now, so there's this thing that people do call balloons. I'm sure you've seen some videos where people have a party and they're just playing balloons. Many of you think they are blowing balloons. They're not blowing balloons. So basically, what is in that balloon is a gas called nitrous oxide. Now, let me give you this. In medicine, we use nitrous oxide for surgery and all of that. But nitrous oxide can get you high. It can get you filled on top of the wall. And so I called out Olamide that, come on, you are a celebrity, you are promoting the use of balloons and all of that. Your fans are seeing it. These people will be like, oh, it's a big boy thing. Because instead of being a Charlie Home, you will watch videos, you see people doing balloons. They're not just doing balloons, they're ingesting a drug. So I put that out. And I went to sleep because Olamide posted that out on my page. I just woke up. Someone, I think my manager called me. Have you checked this blog? Have you checked that tablet? You're on Tribune, you're on what did I do?
A future or the present and future of work. So what role does remote work plays in a positive or negative? That's the question.
Alright, so both sides of the divide. Remote work became very popular during the COVID-19 pandemic. Of course, what it did was that at that time, it also drained people. Because people were working 24/7. There was what we call a work hour law. So they really didn't have a life anymore. However, COVID is gradually fading away. It's still here. But some people are still working from home. It has advantages and disadvantages. There's some jobs that clearly you can't do from home. For instance, you can't have a patient bleeding in the emergency and saying, come on, do this. Yeah, and you're doing telemedicine. It can't work. It will definitely work in some quarters, of course. For instance, tech, finance, maybe manufacturing to some extent. And so what I would say about that is, it's important that people maximize what they can when they work from home. Do the best that you can. But also understand that if you also don't put boundaries in place, if you don't delineate what is work and what is life, you will continue to have that block. And you may actually not have a life anymore. Work life, we used to call it balance. There's really no work life balance. Because balance is about giving work 50 and life 50. It can't work, which is impossible. Because your life is more than your family, it's career, it's the things that you enjoy, it's your hobbies and all of that. And so the new school of thought is work-life integration or work-life harmony. About how you can realize that every part of your life, and when we talk about life, usually we talk about the pillars of wellness, the 8 pillars of wellness: physical, emotional, occupational, financial, spiritual, intellectual, environmental, and spiritual. That all of these parts of our lives feed into each other. And if one suffers, the others too can suffer. So again, it's about the place of priority, paying attention, putting boundaries in place, but also learning that regardless of where I work, I'm expected to be productive, I'm expected to bring my best self to work. And if my work is suffering, it may actually mean that my mind is not in a good place. I may need to get help for myself at the end of the day.
Thank you. So the second question is, asking. So how does screen time impact mental health, and what are the healthy limits? Screen time. They're all on our phones up to 2 a.m. middle of the night, from 1 to the night. That's screen time. How does it affect our mental health?
I'll still want Dr. Guri to share more light. I'll just say, just give it a now. Screen time, how it affects mental health. I noticed and the timing, I can't remember the exact was the timing of screen time that actually came advised. Now, the one thing I do is screen time do is, for example, if you spend a lot of time on the screen and all of that, one it can affect your sleep pattern. How does that work? This one is in your brain, there's an organ called the pineal gland, which is a small part of the brain that produces one hormone called melatonin. Melatonin helps you to sleep well. And the thing about melatonin is that it is produced in the night. When there's bright light like this, it is reduced, so you won't sleep well. And that's why a lot of times, usually we say there's some people sleep at the gym. When you're in your room, put off the light because of. And so if you're exposing yourself to a lot of screen timing, the light can affect your sleep pattern. And trust me, you know that there's something called sleep disorder. When we talk about that, but it can also be a mental problem. I think the majority of screen timing, I think it affects more physical than mental health. But depending on what you consume, so I will want to
Hello, yeah, so thank you. A bit of statistics. The average individual touches their phones 200 times a day. The average individual unlocks their phones 30 times a day. And we send between 30 and 50 messages every day on our phones. What does it mean? Our lives mostly are on our phones. How many of you wake up and the first thing that you do is grab your phone? We know ourselves. How many of us it's the last thing that we touch before we go to bed? We know ourselves. And of course, beyond this, laptops, TVs, and all of that. A lot of time spent on the screen will affect all of us. You have mothers who these days have children less than 2, and they say by then saying, distract the child, go and do something else. It works, but the WHO says that what is the recommended time for a child less than 2 o'clock? 2 years old rather, 0 time. So it means that children less than 2 are actually not supposed to have access to the phone. When people start to grow up, the time starts to increase. And so even as adults, the WHO recommendation is that we shouldn't have more than between 5 to 7 hours, except of course that's your means of livelihood. And even with that, you need to put barriers in place. Screen time affects mental health as well as physical health. We find that a lot of people are sitting down, sedentary lifestyles, and of course will be predisposed to hypertension, diabetes, obesity, eating disorders, to mention what a few. But for mental health, sleep, like he has rightly said, low self-esteem. You go on social media and you're saying, this girl, and we finish university together, you're a big girl. Yeah, big girls, oh God, big girls, oh girl. But you don't know what they're doing. And so there's the comparison game going on. Esteem is low, confidence is low. People start to be at risk for depression and anxiety. The last thing I'll talk about is what is known as the shallowing effect. And the shallowing effect is, we see things on social media, we're normalizing violence, we're normalizing things that ordinarily we would not have been able to watch a long time ago. The last thing I want to say about screen time and learn control. Thank you.
We may have power, but please put your hands together for your power. And here is very, very important in this manifestation. I'm sure we all have learned 1 million about mental health, screen time, and phones, and digital tools, and all of that. It's been a problem in this lecture, as well as a privilege and need to use it. And
all right, come on, please, can you turn your hands together for them? So just before you leave, We just got an attention that the questions, yes, like we said, you have a barcode on the screen, take a picture, it directs you to the Google form, and you send your questions. We took about 3 questions right here.
But for those that have other questions, I'm sure you can always reach out to them at least today, and they'll be able to take whatever questions you have. Alright, in the meantime, we'd like to call second. Alright. Okay, so we'll just quickly take this based on this question.
People talked about how to get help. Can you just tell them what to do, where to go, in case someone is feeling down? Like, what's the first, thing to do to get help?
Okay, so I think that since we're talking digital tools, you can come into our boxes. Some of us have managers, and we're able to move those messages to our managers, or our managers will be the ones that get them. I am on social media as Dr. Multiple Library. You can send me a message. You can send a message to saving lives at readymadeconsulting.com. They're private hospitals, they're public hospitals, but I think that the most important thing is to get the professional to guide you in the right direction. I always say that I'm never too busy to help, even though, well, let's hear Dr. Shino.
I think Dr. Maria said it. I would just say that, yeah, also for some of you that you are shy, you don't want to text someone, you want to remain anonymous and all of that. We have some digital mental health apps that can actually help connect you. So just as we have telemedicine and all of that, there's also what I would call telepsychiatry. So there are apps and there are websites. I'm not sure that's right. They're giving them free PR. So, but there are a lot of them, you understand. And okay, well, I'll mention. I think there's money. I know money. There's just mentally aware. I think just a lot of them. You can just Google it. It's just that well, some of them might ask you to pay an amount. But trust me, nothing comes free. It's your health. Many of you, the money for your Netflix subscription, your data, and all of that. So I think it's good to invest in mental health. So you can also download those apps and you can have therapy sessions right in the comfort of your own your bedroom. So I think that's just and also Dr. Mary also is there. I'm not a psychiatrist, she's a consultant psychiatrist. Oh, I mean fine. Okay, so yeah, you get that, I mean many of you drag me every time now. And you always see me on Instagram about left like this. So you can just follow the embedded Dr. Shino. I'm dragging you now, like I said.
Alright, thank you very much, Dr. Abiri and Dr. Olishino. Please, before you leave, we would like to humbly request the presence of the Chief of Staff of Private to kindly help us present their awards.
And also immediately after that session, we'll move straight up to the picture session and also to the first set of exhibition section for today.
For the exhibition, we'd like to call on Rosex representative as well as BG and also 55. Please get ready and get closer. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we may welcome the Chief of Staff Razak as he presents the award to our panelists.
Razak.
Okay, Razak.
This is an award of appreciation from the Dictator Summit 2024.